Okay, so search words. And why have I got this Amazon out up first? Hang on here. That wasn't supposed to happen. Yeah, sorry. Okay. All right, so this is a Google page where I've done a search for Adirondack chair, which some of you may recognize from the pictures. These lovely simple wooden chairs, which were made and used in the Adirondacks, set on lawns among the whispering trees and murmuring waters. And you'll see that you've got some pictures up front, some sales happening from World Market, Home Depot, Target, and then you've got Wayfair and Overstock, and you see the word ad, or the little highlighted bolded letters for ad. These are the paid ads, and the sponsored ads are the ones you see the word sponsored with up on top there with the pictures where you can click and go right to the website and buy. And so someone has bought the bid on the term Adirondack chair, and this is what they get. And those are the results. And then below the ads, you'll see the beginning of organic search on the first page, with Wayfair being the first to be chosen organically. Now I'm going to go back up and show you the same search on Amazon.com. And now you see how the new ads, quote unquote, on Amazon are working. And these, again, are very much like what Google's doing. So if I do a search in the whole website of Amazon for Adirondack chair, this is what comes up on top. And I've got the lead sponsor right up on the top with different pictures, and then I have other sponsors below. I have editorial recommendations by someone, and of course I can resort these if I want. This is defaulting to sorting by relevance. I usually sort by customer rating, although as we all know, sometimes customer ratings are not the most reliable guides to things. But anyway, this is just the outcome of sponsored search, which now Amazon is also getting into. Now, so that's a real basic look at search advertising, which is huge. I think I did have one other thing to show you, didn't I? No, I don't have it here. It's probably going to come a little later, but I wanted to show you a search on a mobile phone. But before that, I want to get into another area here. And all these big, humongous websites, and we already saw that Google and Facebook are like the monsters worldwide in terms of ad dollars. I think when we look worldwide at both companies, they have over 50% of all advertising dollars worldwide, which is just phenomenal. And it's all moving to a mobile platform. But something we don't think about many times, particularly for a company like Facebook or an Amazon, is they have a lot of data that they're storing. Okay, and so part of understanding them and their business and why they do the things they do is sort of understanding some of their business costs. And so I just want to take a minute to get into this idea of data storage. So interestingly, Amazon actually is the biggest profit center for Amazon is Amazon Web Services, AWS, which is a storage service. They store data for other companies because they're good at storing data and making it available when companies need it. So As you see on the right here, web services provided the bulk of Amazon's operating income, meaning profit. Operating income totaled $2.26 billion, up 9%. And so it's the third quarter at the bottom of the text on the right. Web services, the storage delivered 71% of Amazon's total operating income, meaning profit, and 13% of its total revenue. So it's a very profitable, huge factor of Amazon's business. Got a case study here for SoundCloud using Amazon. You know what? Let's just take a quick look at it. If I have the link here, I might as well take a look at it. Okay, so this is right on AWS's website. I'm sure you guys, most of you know SoundCloud. It lets new artists put their recordings up, and they can share it with friends or make it public. And launched in 2008. It's based in Berlin. They have offices in the U.S. and Europe. They're storing. They decided they didn't want to be in the data storage business. They wanted to be in the working with customers and helping the customers' business. And so they hired Amazon Web Services to look at this, 12 hours of audio material to its platform every minute. All these audio files are transcoded and stored in multiple formats, billions of events daily to better understand user behavior. Now that's what they're doing. They're trying to optimize their service. They store 2.5 petabytes of data. That is a lot of data. That's like all the libraries in the universe and then some. So they use Amazon. The music is stored in an Amazon, a bunch of Amazon servers. Okay, they use Simple Storage Service and Amazon Glacier. Amazon Glacier, I think, is for the things that don't get played very much. They can be stored more cheaply. You don't need to keep the rooms warm and have electricity running and things like that. And so the music, the audio files that are used more are put in the Simple Storage Service and then played. The user of the SoundCloud website clicks to play, and then the content is pulled from the Amazon storage. Secure long-term storage. They've offloaded storage and transcoding, meaning how to pull the content back to the website. They can focus on their own platform's core functionality, serving customers and building the business. So, okay, so this is some of the services that they use. Low cost, Amazon Glacier is very low cost. So, okay, so we don't often think about these things, I think we'll all admit, but nevertheless relevant, very relevant. Okay, storage. And Facebook, talk about your data storage, processes 2.5 billion pieces of content and 500 plus terabytes of data each day, pulling in 2.7 billion like actions, liking things, right, and 300 million photos per day. It scans roughly 105 terabytes of data each half hour. Folks, that's a lot of data. They store their own data, and Facebook has data storage all around the world. And they got one in Oregon, which is this one here, a little bit about it, that stores older photos. This is in a cold storage system like the Glacier system we just talked about for Amazon. No generators or electrical systems can house up to exabyte of data. They store more than 240 billion photos. Well, you see what it is. So you need to understand that when you look at a company like Facebook, okay, which offers its services for free, and you can upload as much stuff as you want, as you know, to Facebook, somebody's got to pay to store it. And I'm going to stop here because I've got a phone call from my daughter. I'll see you on the other side. Okay, I'm back. Now, speaking of the storage stuff for these data centers, now let's hold on here. Of course, I've got to be able to click, clickety, click, click. So there's a data storage center. So when we talk about the cloud, this is the cloud, basically. Okay. So there, as you can see, they're put in rural areas where land is cheap, where labor is cheap, although there probably isn't very much labor going on. And these data storage centers are literally all over the world. So Amazon has them all over the world, Google, Facebook has them all over the world, so that they're relatively close to places with a lot of web traffic. It gives, even though the data travel at the speed of light, it makes it faster. So when I talked originally about that the internet was this network that connects with data storage places all over the world, that's really what that means. And of course, there are also some websites and some storage situations where things are just on one little server, if it's a small little outfit. But they go from small little servers to huge things like this. And the point is that this costs something. Facebook has a serious cost to doing business. And they offer their service for free. So they're not going to stay in business very long at that rate unless they're able to charge somebody something or monetize their business somehow. Oh, this belonged earlier. I'm so sorry, everybody. The point here is this is the sponsored search on a mobile phone, which is tied to Google Maps, as we all know. I just want to show it to you, but we all know the sponsored ones. When I do a search for tacos, which I've been known to do from time to time, or Mexican food, which I do even more because I love Mexican food, this comes up, and look at the order. Taco Inn is paid the most to Google Maps. And if I scroll down, this is the first one I see, but it's 4.4 kilometers away. But if I scroll down a little farther, 4 or 5 entries down, I find the closest one. Taqueria Emilio is only 2.6 kilometers from where I am. So clearly what's happening is, and by the way, I don't know about you, but I find this really annoying because it's like, just show me the closest one. I'm probably honestly driving while I'm doing this, even though I shouldn't be. So I really don't want to be having to, be scrolling around looking for what's really the closest thing. And this sort of search, where it's not optimized for me at a time when I'm pressed for my attention and I'm driving. Anyway, it ticks me off. Okay. So we've talked a lot about search, paid and organic. We talked about Amazon getting into search through a shopping function. Then we took a little side trip and talked about storage and how that's really a big deal and costs a lot of money and is a whole huge infrastructure thing we probably don't think about too much, the cloud. Okay, so we're now going to talk about display advertising. And this is huge. And this is most of the companies in the internet advertising business are doing some kind of display. And there are 3 kinds: standard sized banner ads, which are just static ads, almost like billboards, I would say, on the information superhighway. And then expanding ads and rich media ads. So there is a banner just to show what I am talking about. Looks like a billboard, doesn't it? And it has some similarities too in terms of I'm kind of driving my way through the information superhighway, looking for things and reading things and doing things on my trip. And these darn things try to get in my eyeballs, whether I want them to or not. Yeah. One thing the IAB did was to standardize the size of banner ads. And we're going to talk about that more.